Birthday Hawa, birthday Hawa Shai, birthday Hawa, birthday Hawa Shai. Call Halal Wahawa, Allahina Yahweh Shemel Shai, Bishon Kakadash. And giving, of course, double honors to our apostles and elder bishops, elders, and great millstone, who well, peace and salutations to the elect. Of course, giving a shalom to the Israelite foreigners, like unto a speckled bird, that have been scattered across the four winds that look like the heathen nations, where they've been scattered to, but lineage going back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Going back to Israelite men, all right, who the Israelites are today, the so-called niggas, Latinos, the Americans, all right, Israelite foreigners as well. And the brother Mappa from the Great Millstone Plaintables Camp, located here in the city of Philadelphia. About I am Lamadi Ma'ite. Come with a lesson little or a wee lesson. Just something in the spirit, which I saw. Something I've been meditating on for quite a bit. Yeah, living, of course, my particular dwelling is an apartment. Something that I never ever really wanted ever, but of course, you grow up. Obviously, would prefer to have my own, complete place that's not joined on to another people, heathen, and having to deal with the noise and the strange customs of others. And it was pretty vexing. So it says here, apartment companies saw net income to spike 57% last year thanks to rising rents. Right, and these companies chose to do so. After you have a pestilence outbreak, which grounded economies. They chose to raise rent. Okay. You can receive, I must note, a lot of them receive different personal protection loans, different grants, etc. CARES and HEROES Act and so on and so forth, and they've used the money, so-called trying to justify it. A lot of these different apartment complexes to justify, where they use the money. They do these improvements on the exterior, even though these structures are pretty much, a lot of them are, half a century old and, have mold and different, infrastructure issues. Well, it says apartment owners have been earning big profits off raised rents, according to a new report by Accountable U.S. released this week. The report notes that the top 10 public apartment companies, big company corporations, etc., net income collectively rise 57% to about $5 billion as a result. These numbers far exceed losses, right, that the company incurred at the beginning of the pestilence outbreak. The report shows. So, it showed that they actually made out, better, from this this actual event occurring. We say the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer, and you have it where pretty much many people are going to be priced out of living, from what I can see, forced out of their dwellings because the raised rent rates. I speak about particularly my place. Place started at $775. Pretty much took an increase, I believe, of like $10 the 1 year, another 10 the other year, another 10 the other year, and then it came to the pestilence outbreak. The pestilence outbreak, they changed so-called companies, sold it, and have what they call new owners, and the rent raised And as I had did this like little calculator right here, this difference of being $32. So you have this number here, the 4.05. X amount, over 4% raise. If I'm interpreting that correct. Pardon, but from what it was a year prior, $32 increase, man, ridiculous. And then, say for example, to rent this in the same place, I've looked at, I'm based in Philadelphia. This apartment, I believe they's having it. The starting rates are, I believe, around $1,000 and some change. Pretty much most of the places, apartments, 1-bedroom apartments, they want at least $1,000 or more now. For what different apartments they got in the area in this whole region and such. So it says accountable U.S. President Kyle Herron commented, "It's obvious the punishing retail prices or rental prices on our most vulnerable populations are driven by corporate greed." Right. So, obviously the most vulnerable populations are the poor. So, the greed of Edom, which mainly own these different corporations, they're just trying to get more money, knowing that Jake go to work every day and they can get that money out of Jake. They don't care. Let me see. See if I can go on that blue letter real quick. And that's what E wants. E wants your money. Okay, at the end of the day, because like I said, the quality of life in many of these apartment complexes decrease, depending on the management company. And I pretty much done seen that this company don't care about nothing that particularly was sold. It was sold to, and in general, like, because they have some of the previous employees, managing, they pretty much say, but let flat out, giving free reign for the woman and these wicked children and stuff that run about jumping up in these apartments and stuff like that, and pretty much take them over, someone that is trying to live pretty peaceful and want peace, but structurally live in a place that unless you let's see, I lost my train of thought. Pretty much the chick and her kids, they pretty much and they make noise running around in a structure that was not built to kind of like noise reduce. So it's like wood and such, so you can hear like creaking, people walking around, the TVs, especially some kids stomping and running around and stuff. It's the type of things I have to deal with, but he still gets his rent at the end of the day, so he don't care, and they have the audacity to ask you, why did you renew the lease? Jake have no other choice, we just gotta bear this. The scriptures tells us that in Exodus 20:17, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox or ass, or anything that is thy neighbor's. Right? You want to take someone's substance, and that's what E wants in the name of greed. you know, and his evil desire. You know, he wanting, of course, power, you know, over you, preeminence. You know, and this hurts a lot of Jake, because Jake, a lot of times Jake don't have, like, you have good, like so-called people that try to live quiet life and work simple jobs, and then they're paired up in these apartment complexes with literally straight up niggas. You know what I mean? That don't care, heathen that just don't care. You know, like that, just they believe that just because they pay rent, they can afford to pay rent, or really not even afford to pay rent, because a lot of them, they just pretty much get different systems, you know, different these social programs and such benefits, you know, welfare benefits, and allow them to stay in these places, you know, or whatever, you know, cheat out a man out of something and get into these places. Well, and then they stay, and then they play as if they can, you know, be the top person or something like that. They better than you. Well, look, it's all a sham anyway, because E is the one who's making and taking all the money anyway, you know, and he can evict you and bring in all new people, you know, and a lot of people gonna see that, you know, and a lot of people gonna freak from these increases in prices. So it continues on. It says that it's obvious the punishing rental prices on our most vulnerable population are driven by corporate greed. Big apartment companies have joined the long list of industries using inflation as a cover to charge working families far beyond any cost of doing business, man. So they going well overboard, you know, with you know, what they're doing. You know, a lot of us as Israelites, you know, hey, you know, we already under the curse. You know, cursed be the basket and thy store. You know, our whole financial situation, you know, be already in straits, you know, in a position of difficulty, and then they just throw it on top, knowing that it's only gonna make things worse. You know, like a person like me, you know, I'm praying, Lord get me in a place that I don't have to deal with the certain conflict that I have to deal with, which is noise and this blatant disrespect, you know, from a above tenant, a wicked, evil demon. And I'm praying that I can actually afford it, you know what I mean, to be able to sustain myself, okay, in there. Which the Lord will do so, you know, whatever way he's going to do. I mean, we don't even know if we're going to even be in these apartments anymore. You know, come, you talking about next year, man. Hey, I don't even know. But, this is some of the different oppression which we got to go through. Okay, and this, that brings up another good scripture. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 7. And 7, I believe it is. And it says, surely oppression maketh the wise man mad. And it's very oppressive to, like I say, have to pay this rent. Like I said, where you know it's not worth the money that you're giving them. And they're getting more money and nothing changed. Okay? You know, within the actual dwelling. Okay, I can see you. You know, like say particularly where I have, well, if these people build up, you know, like playgrounds, put down masonry, different bricks, signs, change up landscaping, cut down trees, pretty much damn near rebranded the whole place, which a lot of it was absolutely unnecessary. You know, they're using that to justify, oh, well, we made the quality of life around your surrounding better. Meanwhile, the inside of this place, you know, still has, you know, wood underneath, wood floor that creaks, and, you know, mice issue, you know, about, The apartments, the water, the Lord have it where, many of them are not here, but there's still a presence of the about. You'll see it here and there. Might even see a white mouse, a pet mouse. I mean, this is vanity right here. But surely the present make a wise man mad. We be the wise men. And a gift destroyed the heart, right? And yeah, a lot of course, these different corporations, they receive these benefits, and pretty much went, and it destroyed even. If they had even a bit of like remorse, that's out the window now. Oh, look at all this money that we receive, how much profit we're gonna get. You can hear counsel from financial advisors telling you to raise this rent. But it says the study found that the rent was up more than 17% last year, and occupancy grew 2.5 above the historic average of 95%. Right. So even occupancy has grew. So more people are living in these different apartments and such. You see like the availability of different apartments. You got certain apartments. You might they might be they didn't change their prices, for example, but you can't get an occupancy. But they might build a new building, but then obviously charge more. Pressuring the everyday citizen further, that these increases came despite inflation, which, like I said, that's just the value of the money losing due to them continue to create and issue fake money into the system. Doling out 2.4 pay cut in 2021. Right. Then a lot of these businesses, these jobs, they forget to mention that different pay cuts was taken for certain jobs. In order, we got to keep this going, so we're gonna reduce this 1% out of your check or whatever. Then say, we're gonna give you a raise. Meanwhile, everything done went up the inflation, so that raise ain't really a raise. Starwood's Property Trust CEO Barry Sternilik said during the company's most recent investor call, the inflation was an extraordinary gift that keeps giving, to the tune that maybe 400 million or 500 million. It was the strongest real estate market I've seen in 30 to 35 years. If you count before Starwood, he asked. Additional key findings from the report included, as you have here, Mid-American apartment communities benefited from strong rent growth. I guess they listen to these different particulars, companies, etc. And the FY 2020 net income nearly doubled to over 55 million or 550 million after multiple lawsuits of excessive fees and tenant mistreatment in recent years. Meanwhile, its CEO compensation rose over 60% and over 7.6 million. And he owns two lavish homes together worth 9.3 million. Okay. Called inflation, this particular Starwood Property Trust, an extraordinary gift that keeps giving, while being affiliated with an invitation homes known for horror stories from tenants, as reported a record year in FY 2021 with net income jumping over 126 million, and it's a billionaire its billionaire chairman owning a luxury waterfront Miami Beach mansion valued at almost 34 million. Okay, so hey, you can look into as what we're seeing here. You know, rents go above before the pestilence levels. FY 2021 warned that this is Essex Property Trust. I'm looking at Los Angeles extended eviction moratorium will hurt collections. Right? Yeah, like given that, it's suspending, people getting kicked out due to the whole pandemic, hardship. He said will hurt collection as it posted a FY of 2021 net income of 515.7 million. Its CEO saw compensation rise 627,000 to over 1 million. He owns $1.9 million home with a converted outdoor kitchen and separate Castilla. Right, so hey, you're seeing this. Hey, what these people got? They got money. They're making out like bandits, and meanwhile we're hurting. I think I was gonna read Haggai, by the way, which talk about how we put our money in a bag with holes. This is the book of Habakkuk. It's like Haggai. I think that's Chag, yeah, in Hebrew, which means I believe like a festival, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken. Or yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, like a festival. Or feast, what is it? Like something like that. Let me see something. There's something in the spirit I'm just gonna look at. Yeah, so see if it has it here in blue letter. There's something just I gotta double check. Yeah, Chagia. From Chag, which is festive, or festival. From Chag. Let's go into a feast, right? Okay, so let's go to that verse, which is 1:6. It says, "Ye have so much, and ye bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. He that earneth wages to put in a bag with holes." Okay? And it's like, hey, the money is gone as soon as you get it. Right now, in these days, it just seems like, hey, if you saving, you got to make clear sacrifices in order to, save this money. But hey, if the thing's going to continue to increase, it's going to take more money to pay for what you already are paying for. Meanwhile, there's shrinkflation and going on. You're getting less goods. The size is reducing. Meanwhile, you gotta pay more money. It's ridiculous. So, we pray the Lord, delivers us out of this situation, man. And woe unto them that basically build house to house, man. So, just something in the spirit I want to speak on. I was gonna go into another precept in Job, but the spirit have it. Maybe bringing it out in another lesson. So, shalom to the elect. Just beware of the rise in rent, and know that Edom's spirit is not upright in them. You will continue to be covetous and wicked till the Lord cut them off. So, shalom.